Hello everybody, it's your friend, your father, Jubitaz, and I'm back with some really spicy content. Now, one thing that I love about Naruto is that it's such an expansive series and there's so much lore surrounding it all. You see, I put a poll out not too long ago and it seemed like an overwhelming majority of you guys want to see some popular or not so popular Naruto theories. Now, finding 10 Naruto theories that weren't just complete fan fiction and that have some actual merit behind them isn't as easy as it sounds. So I decided to cover 5 for today. Don't worry though, depending on the reception on this video, I might make a follow-up with 5 additional Naruto theories. One thing I gotta mention is that some of the theories that I'll be tackling in this video aren't actually theories, but more so unanswered anomalies in Naruto, and I'll be going over popular theory answers to these mysteries and determining which sounds like the most plausible one. Number 1. Let's start it off by talking about the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju, the god of shinobi. One thing that's never really explicitly stated or expanded on is Hashirama's death. I mean, if Madara Uchiha fighting alongside the Nine Tails couldn't take him out, then what really can? Some people believe that it's Kakuzu of the Akatsuki, which no. Now, Kakuzu did fight the first Hokage, but according to the databook, he lost against the wood-style jutsu, and it's part of the reason he became a rogue ninja. I've also heard some people say that it was one of Chio of the Sand's poisons, since regardless of how much of a big tree Chad you are, you really can't do much against poison. And that's why Tsunade became so obsessed with medical ninjutsu and coming up with counters for Chio's poisons later on. However, there's really no evidence to support this theory. Plus, you'd think that if killing Hashirama was as easy as poisoning him, that one of the Uchiha would have thought about it. I mean, he's the source of Hashirama cells. You really think some poison is gonna take him out? Now there's another theory, and it's the most plausible one. According to Shizune, Tsunade's 100 healings comes at a cost, which is that every time Tsunade uses the jutsu, she shortens her lifespan, since force regeneration causes the cells to age faster than they usually would. Hashirama's regeneration ability is even more advanced than Tsunade's, so I wouldn't be surprised if it came at the cost of the cells aging even faster. Hashirama, having lived through the Warring States era, probably abused his regeneration ability quite a bit. This also adds up, since Hashirama implies that either Madara or Tobirama would be the next Hokage, even though he's clearly the best option for Hokage. So he must have known about his fate, and it would honestly be poetic. Hashirama was so OP that the only thing that could end him is his own body giving in. Number 2. The death of the second Hokage. Now we know that Tobirama Senju had 2 encounters with the Gold and Silver brothers. The first incident is when him and the second Raikage were targeted at a supposed peace summit between the Leaf and the Cloud. The second one is when Tobirama and his disciples were targeted by the Ginkaku unit, which consists of 20 ninja, and we know that Tobirama acted as a decoy to give his team time to escape, which ultimately led to his demise. Now, people never really understood why Ginkaku and Kinkaku would even bother targeting the second Hokage, and with backup from the second Raikage, you'd think he'd do better against the Gold and Silver brothers, better than being left on the brink of death. Well, this led people to believe that the second Raikage was actually in on the ambush and that the target was just the second Hokage. It's never explicitly stated what the fate of the second Raikage was after the attack. Now you might ask, why would they target Tobirama? Well, you see, the Hidden Cloud had a habit of trying to seize powerful techniques or abilities from other villages. Just like how the Cloud kidnapped Kushina Uzumaki when she was a child due to her special Uzumaki chakra, or how they attempted to kidnap Hinata Hyuga in order to get their hands on the Byakugan. Now you see, the second Hokage may have not been the strongest Hokage, but he was the pioneer, and is the one behind many of the jutsu used by modern shinobi, like the Shadow Clone Jutsu and the Flying Raijin. There was another jutsu that, while may have not been at its most powerful when Tobirama was using it, it definitely had the potential to be the most broken jutsu, that being the reanimation jutsu. And everyone knew that Tobirama could use this jutsu, which is why Tobirama was targeted. The second Raikage could have been just as power hungry as the Raikage that followed, and collaborated with Gin and Kin in order to steal secrets of the reanimation jutsu from Tobirama. And Tobirama wouldn't give them details on the jutsu, which is probably what led to the assault. Though I can't see how this wouldn't lead to a full-scale war between the leaf and the cloud. Now, it is generally assumed that the second Raikage was killed during the ambush, and that that's the reason Gin and Kin are considered the worst criminals in the Hidden Cloud, but the manga never talks about the fate of A the second. There's also not much information to prove any of this, so it's left as just an interesting fan theory. Number 3. The next unanswered mystery that I want to talk about is Sakumo Hatake. We all know that he's Kakashi's father, and that during a mission he took, he decided to abandon the mission in favor of rescuing his comrades, which resulted in the failure of his objective. Apparently, the mission's success was so critical that the famed White Fang was shamed and shunned by the villagers for the mission's failure. Even the comrades that he rescued shunned him and spoke poorly about him. For such a renowned ninja to be completely outcasted by the village, this must mean that the mission that he'd failed in was such a pivotal one, or one that had detrimental results to the leaf. I've scouted the internet looking for theories for this one, but none of them really had any merit. One popular theory is that Sakumo's mission had to do with the Uzumaki clan, and that him abandoning the mission is what resulted in the Uzumaki clan's demise. We know that the Uzumaki clan was feared for their sealing jutsu, and that some of the world's nations banded together to eradicate the clan. Maybe Sakumo arrived too late and chose to spare his comrade's life by not engaging the enemy and just retreating. The leaf has a close relationship to the Uzumaki clan, so the hatred and blame would be justified. And all we know about the destruction of the land of Eddies is that it took place after Kushina left the leaf, so the timeline could work, but there isn't a whole lot of proof to this theory. Another popular theory is that Sakumo's failed mission resulted in the start of the Third Great Ninja War, somehow. This also fits in with the timeline since Kakashi becomes a Jonin and subsequently joins the war shortly after his father's passing. Another theory I found is that the mission wasn't as detrimental as it was made to be, and Danzo was the one responsible for tarnishing Sakumo's name, since he'd done the same with multiple ninja like the Uchiha and the early Akatsuki. But like I said, none of these theories have any actual proof. I'm curious to hear what you guys think was Sakumo's mission. Leave your theories down in the comments. Number 4. Now this is a theory that I came across in the internet that I found to be really interesting and could actually make some sense. A lot of people think that Itachi's actions don't make sense after Shisui's death, how he went along with Danzo's orders and actually followed through with the assignment. Now Itachi was placed in a pretty unfortunate predicament where each option was bleak, and he just decided to go with the one option that ensured the safety of his village and his younger brother. At least that's what we're told. But there's this popular theory that Shisui used Kotoamatsukami on Itachi in order to make him commit the things that he'd done. This theory is supported by the one flashback in the manga where we actually see Shisui speak. He tells Itachi to protect the village and the clan's name, not the clan itself. And Itachi followed this command to the dot. Shisui also had his Mangekyo Sharingan active when he gave Itachi the command, and the thing about Kotoamatsukami is that it works so that the manipulated targets wouldn't even know that they were being manipulated. Now it'd kinda be a dick move on Shisui to use Kotoamatsukami on Itachi and then kill himself, but in theory it could have happened. Another popular theory is that it was Danzo that used Kotoamatsukami on Itachi in order to ensure that he'd follow through with the mission, which would actually make a lot of sense. Now Itachi seems conscious in his decisions that he makes, but since Koto works by manipulating the target without the target even knowing, even if either used it on Itachi, we wouldn't even know. I don't know if there's any actual evidence, but I thought that it was a nice little theory to entertain. Number 5. Orochimaru knew a lot more than he let on, and it's possible that he knew about the reincarnations of Indra and Ashura, and about Madara Uchiha. You see, Orochimaru has been trying to get an Uchiha body for quite some time, and after Itachi cucked him, he set his eyes on Sasuke. Now Sasuke was a perfect vessel. Not only was he an Uchiha, but he was also the reincarnation of Indra, and in order to awaken the Rinnegan, one has to recreate the Sage of the Six Paths chakra by merging the chakra of both his sons, Ashura and Indra. And you know who's Ashura's reincarnate? The first Hokage, and Orochimaru has access to some of the first Hokage's DNA, as he's the one that implanted them onto Danzo. So you could make the argument that Orochimaru was going for more than just the Mangekyo Sharingan when he wanted to steal Sasuke's body. Kabuto actually confirms this later on in the war when he revived Madara Uchiha and says that he's just testing a hypothesis that Orochimaru had come up with. It's the two polar opposites that give rise to all things. That could also mean that Orochimaru knew about Madara, since Madara is the first person to test this hypothesis, and Kabuto seems to know exactly what happened to Madara after his battle with Hashirama. The question is, how would Orochimaru even know about the Rinnegan? I mean, the information about the Rinnegan was only inscribed on the Uchiha stone tablet, and only someone with the Mangekyo Sharingan or the Rinnegan could actually decipher it. Now there's another theory that Black Zetsu is the one that provided Orochimaru with the information, as he was the only one other than the Uchiha that could actually read what's inscribed on it. Now I don't know why Black Zetsu would even provide Orochimaru with this intel. Maybe he thought that he could manipulate Orochimaru into reviving Madara. We know that Black Zetsu is the one that led Kabuto to Madara's corpse, so you could say that he was manipulating Kabuto's superior as well. Now I'm not saying that Black Zetsu manipulated Orochimaru to a similar extent as he did with Madara or Obito, but who knows, man. Apparently Black Zetsu manipulated all of mankind, and I don't see Black Zetsu providing Orochimaru with information on the Rinnegan without having an ulterior motive. And that's it for today, you guys. We went over a couple of theories. Some were reasonable and logically deduced, some had a bit of merit but not enough supporting evidence, and some sounded like complete conjecture. If you're a fan of Naruto Theories, you should check out my channel, as I've got a couple more theory videos, like the Blood Mist video or the Danzo theory video. If you guys want me to make a follow-up with 5 other theories, please do let me know in the comments, and also let me know what you guys thought about all of the theories that I discussed in this video. All I ask is that you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video.